Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for coming. My name is Sal Martinez, and I'm honored to again serve as your Master of Ceremonies today for this very special event as we celebrate the ceremonial breaking of the ground for the wonderful new Jerome and Rosemary Flance Early Childhood Education Center at Murphy Park. The fact that we're all here assembled today means that we were blessed to open our eyes and wake up this morning. And so before we go any further, I want to introduce my good friend, the Reverend Rodney Francis, who will provide us with our invocation today. Reverend Francis.
Thank you, Sal. So I was given a call by the Platinum Group to keep my remarks to under 2 minutes. And as a Baptist minister, that's no easy task. So I thought I'd write my remarks down, write my prayer. Let us center our hearts and our minds for prayer, if you will. Oh God, we are here today to thank you that we've come to the start of this construction project, the I. Jerome and Rosemary Flance Early Childhood Education Center at Murphy Park. No doubt it has been a long and sometimes perhaps even difficult road, but we thank you for your constant faithfulness throughout. Thank you for all who have worked so hard on this project, for the partners of this effort, Urban Strategies, the Housing Authority, University City Children's Center, the Looming Institute, and the Fifth Ward Alderwoman Tamika Hubbard. Thank you for their willingness to work collaboratively for the good of our community. We thank you for the life and legacy of Dr. I. Jerome and Rosemary Flance, and may this center stand as a testament to their contributions and tireless advocacy on behalf of children in our community. We thank you in advance for the countless children and families who will be served by this center, and may it, for them, be a nurturing place of love, learning, and laughter.
I had the opportunity to sit to our next speaker recently at the North Sarah Phase 2 groundbreaking ceremony, and I made the comment to him that events like this never get old. It means that development and investment are continuing to come to our city. It means that more jobs and quality of life services are coming to our community. And it means that yet again, North St. Louis has stood up and made the region take notice and recognize that we are a community that is truly on the move. And it means that our next speaker has committed himself and that of his team to helping North St. Louis and the Fifth Ward in particular reach its fullest potential. So at this time, friends, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the mayor of the city of St. Louis, the Honorable Francis Slay.
Well, thank you, Sal, and good afternoon, everyone. Anytime Sal is emceeing an event, you know it's something very important and exciting for the city of St. Louis. Sal, it's always good to be with you on these events. I know it was about 6 years ago we were here together for the ribbon cutting of this beautiful facility here at the Cahill Center, and I'm thrilled to join all of you and McCormick, Bear, and Salazar, Urban Strategies, and others that are here, and all of you to celebrate the opening of a very quality early childhood center here in St. Louis. I was yesterday on the south side at the Southside Early Childhood Center. We did a groundbreaking there, and we're here for this one. And so there's really nothing that we can be doing that's more important than making sure that all of our children are ready for school and ready for life. And it starts right here in early childhood. It certainly is not a guarantee that they're going to succeed, but it really gives them a step up, a hand up, and a better opportunity to succeed in life and reach their full potential. I want to thank the St. Louis Housing Authority, University City's Children's Center, and Loom Institute. I also want to acknowledge our state senator, Jamila Nasheed, State Representative Penny Hubbard, and the alderman of this ward, Tamika Hubbard. It's great to be with you, and Reverend Francis, always good to see you as well. You know, this is going to be a state-of-the-art, LEED certified early childhood center. But what's even more important than that is what's going to go on within the walls. Very talented professionals are going to be here, really nurturing our children, teaching them, providing them with very productive adult, not only supervision, but learning abilities to make sure that they get all the very best in this quality organization. And we're going to have a lot of children that are the future of our city here. And it is up to all of us as adults and leaders, civic and parents and political leaders, to make sure that we do the very best for them. And that's why I'm so happy to join with all of you today. I know that what children coming out of here are going to be better prepared for elementary school. And it's going to be good for the schools that they're going to be attending, but most important, it's going to be good for them. So congratulations. I'm glad to join with you here today. Congratulations on bringing it this far. Everyone that had involvement in doing it. I know a lot more people are going to be recognized here today. But I look forward to joining you again for the ribbon cutting in not too distant future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Slay, and thank you for your continued support and leadership. Our next speaker has quickly blazed a trail of community advocacy and leadership during her tenure in public office. She has taken some difficult positions on critical topics and has done what was necessary to ensure that her constituents receive the opportunities and services that they deserve. She is truly a bridge builder and should be commended for her willingness to reach across the aisle to get things done in the historic 5th Senatorial District. And so at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce a fighter, a leader, an advocate, and a darn good singer. My good friend and yours, the Honorable Jamila Nasheed, State Senator, 5th District.
Good afternoon, everyone. I knew that I was a leader, and I knew that I was a senator, but I didn't know I was a good singer. Thank you for that. Let me first and foremost thank Almighty God for giving us the opportunity to be here today. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the mayor for all of his great work here in the city of St. Louis. McCormick Barrett and all of its partners for bringing forth such a very important facility, the early childhood facility. Now, we all know that when children are educated at such an early age, they're less likely to become criminals. They're more likely to read at 3rd grade level when we have early childhood. So this is a magnificent occasion, and I am just honored to be here. But let me just say to you, and I'll sit down, I would like to make a pledge to each and every one of you here today that I will continue to do all that I can do in terms of making tax credits a reality for St. Louis. Because you know that there is an all-out attack on tax credits on the state level. And if it wasn't for the tax credits, we wouldn't have this building. We wouldn't have the groundbreaking that we're having today. So my pledge to you that I will do all that I can to continue the good fight for tax credits for the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Nasheed. And yes, we really do need you to fight for the continuation of the low-income housing tax credit program, which made a development as beautiful as Cahill House possible. Our next speaker has also demonstrated a deep commitment to the welfare of our community. She has been a tireless advocate for creating high-quality education for the children in her district for many years. She has also shown a willingness to build consensus with some unlikely allies in an effort to improve the quality of life of her constituents. She is a wonderful mother and grandmother who truly loves children and believes that they deserve the very best that we as a community can give them. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the hardest working state representative in Jefferson City, my good friend, the Honorable Penny Hubbard from the 78th District, State of Missouri.
Thank you, Sal. Good afternoon. First of all, let me say it's an honor to be here, and certainly an honor to serve as your state rep for this 5th Ward. I would be remiss if I would not give the credit to all the developers, Sal, McCormick and Barron, Tamika Hubbard, Rodney Hubbard, and all the other team players that have been involved in this project, not just last week, last month, but for years, along with our mayor. Years ago, I lived here in Vaughn Project, and the address here, which will be the same address as the address here now will be for the groundbreaking, 1908 O'Fallon. So it is just a wonderful view to know that whenever people are working together and we're doing things for the betterment of our community as well as our children, then we can always make positive goals and see the future. Thank you.
It's truly been an honor for me to work closely with our next speaker during her brief tenure in office. I had the pleasure of working with her predecessor for 8 years, and I can testify that there has been a rather seamless transition into her tenure as the new alderwoman. She has brought a fresh and renewed perspective to community and economic development and has demonstrated a deep commitment to all members of her ward, including families, seniors, and especially children. She is not a talker, she is a doer, and positive things have continued to happen and will continue to happen once she is reelected to serve a full term in office next Tuesday, March 5th. She too is a loving mother, and as a fellow parent, I can truly appreciate the love, guidance, and attention that she gives to her wonderful son. The nurturing and education of our youth has been paramount in the platform of our next speaker. Friends, it is indeed my honor to introduce you to the first alderperson in the city of St. Louis to ever celebrate 2 groundbreaking ceremonies and 1 grand opening ceremony in 1 week. I give you the Honorable Tamika Hubbard, Alderwoman of the 5th Ward.
Thank you. I don't think I just said it. I've just been getting up and doing it. But first of all, I would like to say that I'm honored to be here this afternoon. This is definitely a good occasion. In working with McCormick and Barron and Sandra Moore, I remember some of those early talks, and also the operator for Flance Center. And we were concerned about how we were going to make it work. And I'll be honest, there was some ripples in the beginning, but we definitely got it done. This is a very important early childhood center. Not only will it be a place for well over 150 kids to come get some quality education, it will also be a place that other daycare operators within the area can come to and get the assistance that they need to keep, our kids moving forward. A lot of times we have situations where kids are just being babysat and they're not getting those fundamental things that they need to progress when entering elementary school. And I was assured that the Flance Center will be a state-of-the-art facility, and the focus would definitely be to educate our children and move them forward.
It is an honor and a privilege to be here again representing the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development and at this here great event. And I know some of you all are wondering, why is HUD involved in a early educational center? Because we recognize that just building housing is not going to sustain communities. It takes a holistic approach to be able to redevelop and also to develop communities. And that's what this is. And so we want to commend all our partners on the great job that they have done so far. Up under the leadership of Mayor Slay, I tell you, there's a lot of things that have been taking place within our community that we just don't get credit for. And I think you ought to give yourself a hand for that, because there's a lot of great things that are taking place. It seems like that this is becoming old hat, but it's something that we want to continue to do. I believe that now, Sal, I think it's been about at least 3 or 4 projects over the last few months that we have been involved in. And it doesn't get old. It is refreshing and it's new. It may be outside kind of dreary just a little bit, but I tell you, it's warm and it's sunny in here because of what is happening with all our partners. And so we want to commend each and every last one of you on the great job that you're doing within the community. And I often say that, HUD comes to make sure that your vision doesn't turn into a nightmare. And so we are pleased to be able to commit $5 million to this project, and I think you should give us a hand for that. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So on behalf of HUD, let me say to all of our partners, congratulations this fall. We're really looking forward to coming back and doing the ribbon cutting. I believe that the partners that we have here now are just some great partners. And why break up a great team? When we look at what McCormick Barron is doing, we look at what the Housing Authority, Urban Strategies, and the rest of the partners within our community, they are doing some fantastic things. Second to none throughout the country, you all.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
We are really pleased to be here today to celebrate this event. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of the Housing Authority. This development, the Flance Early Childhood Education Center, represents a major step beyond the typical type of developments that we get involved in. As most of you probably know, our organization works closely with the mayor's office, who appoints the commissioners, such as me, on the board. Also, we work closely with HUD, who's represented ably here today. HUD provides our funding for development and operations. And thanks to the support from the mayor and HUD, and also the great leadership from our executive director, Cheryl Lovell. And again, let's give her another round of applause. She's standing shyly at the back of the room there. Thanks to all those contributions, we're now at a position where we can provide affordable housing services to approximately 24,000 residents of the city of St. Louis. Now, unfortunately, we do not have the funding resources to provide extensive social services to all of our residents. And that's the reason we're so pleased to be here today and to celebrate this event. You should know that over the past 7 years, Urban Strategies and McCormick Barron Salazar have persevered and survived numerous obstacles to get us here today. And now, thanks to $2.3 million in private donations, $2.7 million in new market tax credit equity, and a very generous $5 million grant from HUD, the Flance Center will soon be able to provide early childhood education and training here in the city of St. Louis. It will also be providing child care provider training, as well as space for other adult training type activities. And by the way, on this HUD grant, I did want to give them a little special note here. The grant comes from the Capital Fund Education and Training Community Facilities Program. We call it CFCF for obvious reasons. We're very thankful for that grant. You all should be aware that the Housing Authority was one of only 8 recipients nationwide of a grant from this program in calendar year 2011. That is a testament to the vision of Urban Strategies.
I want to talk about the resilience of this community and of all the families that live here. This center is the vision of 2 extraordinary men. One is sitting right here, Richard Barron, who started thinking about babies long before anybody else did. I've been the president of Urban Strategies for 12 years. I'm the second president. Richard was the first. I could regale you with cocktails or tea, whichever you prefer, about how I got to be the president of Urban Strategies, and it is a story. But what I can tell you is somewhere along the way, I asked him, why do you care about all of this? And his answer has stuck in my soul since I came here. And it is, he said, because if we don't change things for the children, it's all for naught. This is a man who builds buildings. And I have consistently seen that will in the 12 years. And the other part of the vision is I, Jerome Flance. And he said to me, Sandy, the distillate begins at birth. And I had the pleasure of speaking at his memorial service, and I admitted that at that point I didn't have a good sense of what the distillate was. He's a doctor, you know, he's a pulmonary doctor. And so then I had to look it up, and I found out it is the beginning, in essence. And that's what he said when he came to this neighborhood in his second career, or third career, because he'd already been up with Mac and already run everything you could run at the hospital, and then came to work in this neighborhood in his 80s. And he said, he looked around and he said, you know, we're just doing great work in the school and all, but we need to get to these babies at birth. And he turned out to be right, and he pushed us down this road.
And it's people like you who are going to make this happen. You heard all about the things that have been done to get us to this point. From this point on, we're going to need a lot of help, because everybody knows, and you've heard about, what it takes to move a child through a system where they can reach their full potential. And that's what this is about, helping children meet their full potential. And so we have to inspire them to aspire. Inspire to aspire. That's what this is really all about. And it's really great. I'm really privileged to have an opportunity to work with the Flance Management Group. And Sandy Moore, Richard Barron, Mary Slay, Rodney Hubbard, all the people that I've known and worked with in the past, I've got an opportunity to work with them again to make something wonderful happen for this community and the children in this community. And, you know, it's really all about vision. It's all about vision, you know. And, you know, we should all be thinking today about 5 years from now, what's going to be happening? Expect. Inspect what we expect. And you all, from the Housing Authority to HUD to the mayor's office, the alderman, everybody has a stake in this. Everybody has a stake in this. And so we should be coming, once this center gets going, we should be coming down here, talking, reading to the kids, talking and reading to the parents, finding out what's going on, and figuring out ways that we can help to make this successful. So I'm looking forward to working with everybody in this community to make this happen. And, you know, it's a great example of what we can do if we work together.
And it's the trust and the believing that we need to continue having in order to make this successful. She's really a remarkable person. Urban Strategies and McCormick Barron are wonderful, and I'm excited to work with Grace Hill. And so it's all about this community. Look around and you look at the people that are sitting in this room. And to dovetail into what Ron's saying, look at you and look at how the buoyancy of the many creates what we can create at the Flance Center. We have synergy, excitement, and enthusiasm, and everyone in this room is now owner of part of that. We will distribute hundreds of copies of Good Night Moon for you to come in to read to us. It is an exciting time. We believe that University City Children's Center has done something very special with children of all incomes. We're having exceptional outcomes, and we're seeing kids that are learning from here. We have learned over the years that we've been teaching children from this dimension here, just to the head. We have brilliant kids who need to understand the heart and soul of the world in which they live. And the Hubbards have been in the community pushing and driving for change. So I need to learn the community. I need your help so we can help the children in this community. So I'm exceptionally excited. I am scared to death. I'm scared. We are going to have to work really hard. Everybody that walks into this building has to be able to give 100% of who they are. Our children need it. St. Louis needs it. So I invite you to join hands with us as we really plow forward and create something different for children and families in St. Louis.
We started working on this project 15 years ago. My early work with Loretta Hall here and Rodney and Bertha Gilkey and Gene King on the south side, we did the first infant care centers in Missouri. We were the first ones to get licensed by the state, and I've been worrying about the height of toilets for 2-year-olds for a very long time. And it was part of the thought with respect to Murphy Park when we were able to get the support of the city and Senator Bond and Secretary Cisneros back in the early 90s that ultimately replaced the Vaughn development with Murphy Park. That we had talked repeatedly with Loretta and Rodney and Bertha on the north side about doing something with respect to the Jefferson School. We had been there. We were watching our children at O'Fallon, and Carr Square get bused all over the city. They were going to 43 different schools as part of the desegregation program, and they couldn't walk down the street to Jefferson. And so we have been at this for a very, very long time. And I had occasion many years ago to connect with a woman in the pediatrics department, a Dr. Betty Caldwell, who helped us originally with the infant care centers that were done in Cochrane and in Darst and here at Carr Square. And Betty had always talked to me about the nexus between early ed and kids starting in kindergarten. And it was always her sense that the most important thing was to find a way to bring those children into kindergarten as 4-year-olds and begin to have a way for them to get adjusted. I learned a great deal from her. She was an extraordinary visionary in terms of early education, was one of the original proponents for Head Start in the United States during the 60s. And this center will hopefully be a start with the extraordinary work going on the south side, here on the north side.
Thank you very much, Richard. I also want to acknowledge Ron Roberts from McCormick Barron, who's worked very diligently on this project. I also want to thank Christopher White from St. Louis Housing Authority for his fine work on this. I think at this time we will exit out of this door. I want to